Hey everyone, so this is just a quick video. It's not going to be your main video, but almost like just an intro to something that I'm really quite excited about doing on Patreon. And I had this idea, I did post about it a few days ago, and I thought that this is a personal challenge, a personal goal for myself, but then I thought, well, why don't I make it sort of like, why don't I share in this, why don't I share this to you guys and just to see what you feel or how you feel about it. So the challenge is, it's something that me and my sister really came up with the name Wonder Journal, and it's stuck for me personally anyway. And I see these big chunky juicy journals overflowing with paint, colours, images and all sorts of things, and I have my creativity spread so thinly that I'm never in one journal long enough to have it sort of like full to the brim. I have come close, I must admit. I have got quite a few journals, but they're not quite finished. So for example, I have this one that I've yet to cover. This is almost finished. Then I have my March Magic, which I always keep with me because I manifested so much through March Magic. So many things came to pass through this, that this journal I just have to carry around with me, just to remind me every now and again of actually just how much came to pass. This changed my life. It went towards changing my life. So this is precious to me. So even though it's not quite full, it doesn't matter. It probably has more meaning to me than maybe a full ram-packed journal would do. So that's that. But yeah, then I have my my nature journal. This is one where I document. So really, it's like the Wonder Journal, but it's where I document things in nature. So I found the pheasant feather. I was tempted to document this jay feather, but I probably will document it in here, but I won't put my jay feather in here because this is way too precious to stick in a book. I have this on display. In fact, a couple of days later, I actually found this other feather. I'm not sure what feather it is, and I don't even know if it's coming up on the camera, but there's a blue side to it, which it was just really unusual. I actually found a wish stone as well, which if you're interested, I'll show you, but it's in the house at the moment. Right, so they're my journals. Then I have my vision board, which needs updating because even things in this have kind of come to pass. I don't know if you know about this wallet, so I don't know if you're new and you're watching this, but I'm waiting for the money to manifest. But this wallet, I'd forgot I put this in here, this image, and I went on this money manifestation challenge, and she said, the teacher was saying, oh, you need to buy yourself a wallet, preferably a gold one. But everywhere I went to look for this gold wallet, they all looked super tacky. And then the very last shop I went in, I'll never forget this because it started to thunder, and we never get thunder and lightning here. We get it very rarely, and it's like, I absolutely love thunder and lightning. I just love the way that nature reveals its power in that way, So I went in the shop, looked at this, I saw a gold wallet, and I thought, oh, excellent, but picked it up and it was too tacky again. Then below it I saw a brown wallet, and I was like, oh wow, that's really nice, and I said, right, I'm getting it, it's perfect, exactly what I want. Took it home, and for some reason something prompted me in my mind, check your vision board, and I thought, it can't be. I went to check the vision board, and I'm not even joking, it's exactly the same wallet, with the zip in the middle brown, the zip brown here. It just looks exactly the same size as well. So so that came to pass. That needs documenting. So many other things too, but that's for another video. Now for this video, hang on one sec, I've got my coffee. I made another cup of coffee this morning, and I have it black. I've got it in my Make Your Own Magic mug. Hang on. Oh, I normally only have one, and I won't be able to drink all that either, but I just felt like I needed after my breakfast or brunch, I needed another coffee. So, wonder journaling. Let's make a movement with the hashtag Wonder Journal. And in this Wonder Journal, we are going to document and stick inside it everything and anything that inspires, that brings wonder, inspiration. I mean, that's just scratching the surface. I'll explain more. Right, so in this journal here, I began to, so I don't think any of this is private, but so let's turn to a page. Mind you, I share so much with you anyway, so so for instance, okay, so all these colours, they're all my colours, and I decided that I would put in this journal everything that makes me happy. I'm not going to be, and I know that sounds really silly because that's how it should be, but I'm always feeling like I have to do something for the camera, you know, and think, oh, is it good enough? Is it good enough? And I decided, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm creating something that I love, and I'm not even going to worry if other people don't like it. I'm just going to put it out there, and it's got to make me happy. And so far, every single page in this planner, I can tell I'm on the black coffee. Slow down. Everything in this journal makes me so happy. It lights me up. I mean, look, I don't know if you can see this. It's stitch bound, this journal, and through all the watercolours, it's dyed even the stitching, so it's all rainbow coloured, and I love that. I really love it. Shall I zoom you in a bit more? Hang on, that'll do. Right, make sure I keep you in frame. So, right. So as you can see, right, all this has meaning. This isn't just stuck in for the sake of it to look pretty or anything like that. All of it, even this, has meaning. Okay, so this is the Jaybird feather that I'd found, and it has a story. So I'm going to be putting that in here, and I have shared that story as well in a post on Patreon. Lucky, I just decided to put this in it because it says that good fortune and all that's successful and blah, blah, blah. So it was relatable. But this foxglove here, this flower, they're so abundant where I live. So even on the moorlands and in the forest, like we have like these, you can't even call them woodlands because they're like forests with the big trees. They're in there as well. I'm going to record it for you, so I'll do a video on that. So I'm going to go up there and record it all before it goes, and just show you. Honestly, if there was a magical place, and without sounding cheesy, it's there, it's up there, because even on a walk with friends, they were just commenting on exactly the same feeling you get when you walk through these woods. I mean, it is like a fairy tale forest, and then you've got these popping up, and it was in a woodland that I found the jay feather. I was actually on the run, so it's a miracle that I even saw it. And then this piece of artwork I loved so much. I didn't know what to do with it. I thought about framing it, and then I just decided that actually I would stick it in here. So the Wonder Journal for me, these are just some of my running friends. That was the day that I found the jay feather actually. So I decided on this page to create a little piece of art. So I'm doing all these abstract pieces, and I thought, why don't I just practice my art on the pages, you know, and then write on top of it. So I decided to do that, and I love to incorporate with the artwork some collage pieces, collage elements, and I just can't seem to stop with that. It's something that I'm running with, and I think it's also because, like with my mini journaling, I did a lot of collage work in that, so it's a lot of mixed media. So you have watercolor base along with a load of collage elements in there, and I love the depth that it gives, and the mix of colors, and I just love it so much. So why stop, you know, if it's something that you love? So I'm carrying on with that, obviously. So a Wonder Journal. Now I will put a list below. For me, a Wonder Journal is keeping everything in one place. That so you know, all those elements, all those things that you find. So if it's a feather, if it's a cutting in a magazine, so let me show you that. Some things you might need to scan. So like if you have a card, if you do for instance, affirmation cards, oracle cards, which is what these are, or tarot even. If you have a card that speaks to you, then and you obviously don't want to stick it in there because it's part of your deck, scan it. And it's for, obviously it's you don't want to go against copyright, but it's for your journal. Or take a photo of it and stick it in your journal. It's not for public, you know, use. It's for your own personal use. You're not going to be sharing that. It's just for yourself. So take a photo of it or scan it and stick it in your journal. So yeah, again, I'm not advocating copyright or anything like that, but so exercise caution. I need to stick that down, it keeps popping up. Right, so yeah, and then stick a photo of it and then write down your experience with it. And also remember as well, when you, and this is another thing that I, just make sure you're recording. This is another thing that I have sort of decided upon for myself, and this is why this is for me, but I'm also sharing it with you. And that is, say for instance, if I have a photo of a card or a piece of ephemera, something meaningful, or say a photo of something that happened that day and I want to document it, or it links in, or for example it's just one of these cards. Let's use this for an example. Hang on. So it's this card or one of these cards, and then you stick it down, and then there's a word that goes along with it. You don't have to fill your page with writing. You can decorate the background, stick in your photo or card, and then just write a paragraph, and then that's it documented. You're not spending hours on end on a journal page. And because you want to fill in these pages perhaps even daily, or even more than a couple of times a day, or just on a regular basis, you obviously don't want to be spending hours upon hours writing and thinking you have to fill the page with writing. You don't at all. You don't even have to have any writing on it. Hang on, oh, I really feel like I need to sneeze. Hang on a second, it's coming. Oh, excuse me. So anyway, right, so yeah, I was going to show you. Oh, hang on. Right, I think I've shown you before. Need to zoom you out a little bit. There you go. So I have these cuttings that I keep in a box that are meaningful to me. So these are all from a magazine, well, from magazines, but like more specifically like spiritual magazines, and anything that sticks out, any artwork. Before I throw the magazine away, because I don't really like to hoard them, because to have or hoard the magazines can be overwhelming, and to sit there and cut loads of images out of like 20 magazines is so time consuming. You might as well just do that with like 2 or 3 at a time. So yeah, that's what I do. I cut out everything out, all the artwork, all the pictures, things that have meaning to me. I even tear out whole pages of articles that I don't want to throw away and I want to keep, and I put these in here. So I have a box full of those, and then anything that actually really speaks to me at the time. So for example, say it's this image or this image, or I don't know, this quote, whatever, and at that time it has relevance and meaning, document it straight away. Don't worry about writing in your journal, just get it stuck on the page, stick it down, and then maybe sketch a note in pencil, the meaning, the relevance, so you can come back later on and then write exactly on there what, you know, what relevance, what meaning it has to you. And this is all about wonder journaling, and what we're aiming for is building up a like a portfolio of wonder, a portfolio of inspiration. So if you see an inspiring picture online, or for example somebody sends you a piece of art and it's small enough, and maybe you don't want to stick it on the wall, put it in the journal. What else? A piece of so a piece of washi tape. If somebody sends you a piece of washi or seals the envelope with washi, and you really love that washi, you take it, you stick it down, and then you just write how much, why you love it so much, you know. And it's about capturing the small things as well as the bigger things. So like when we journal, excuse me, I'm just have some of my coffee. Yeah, so when we journal, we think that we have to, well, I'm not saying everyone thinks this, but generally you think you have to document moments, memories, like a day out or something bigger than usual maybe. But it's all the little elements, and more often than not, it's those little things that you generally forget but will have a big significant meaning later on. And if you document all these little things in here and the big things, and you've put it all together, you will then be able to track you'll be able to track the deeper, more spiritual meaning in your life, and you'll be able to track so what would be the word, you'll be able to see where the direction your life is going in. You'll be able to, if you have questions, if you're wondering what next, where you're going to go and all that sort of thing, you can turn to your Wonder Journal and you can flick through it, and then you will begin to see patterns, I guarantee it. And you'll be able to see, you'll get a direction from it. You'll be able to just track things in such a way. I'm trying to grasp the words. Yeah, so I'm saying a lot. But yeah, you're trying to capture the magic in your life in this Wonder Journal. But you have to do it also in such a way that makes you happy, and in a way that you're not trying to impress other people with your journal. It's deeply personal. So if you don't get on with watercolours, you don't have to use watercolours. You can use acrylics, just bearing in mind that you can't really write on top of most acrylics. Or you can stick down background papers. So for this one here, I love this paper so much. And the amazing thing is, not only does it go, but it also on the back has the narrow rule, which I really love, in such an organic way. The lines are quite they look like they're hand drawn, they're not perfectly straight. I love that. And it's feathers, so it links in and ties in with the feather, which I'll document on here, and I'll document other things on here, perhaps add a quote. Yeah, so it all fits, all goes together. So I love that. So for me personally, what I'll be documenting in here is literally everything, all the little things. So if something maybe someone said to me and it's inspired me, a quote from a book I've read in the morning, a card that I've pulled from, say, one of my oracle decks, a piece of ephemera that I either really, really love, or sorry, my daughter's in the kitchen, you can hear her. Yeah, so little pieces of ephemera that really mean something to me, or that I really, really love. So say if you get a piece of ephemera in a pack, in a subscription box, or something someone sends you, or you just have in your stash, and you really love it and you've wondered what shall I do with it, stick that in your Wonder Journal. And you don't even have to write anything. But if you do want to write something, you don't have to write a load. You could just say maybe what it is that you love about that piece of ephemera, the colour, because that will have relevance to you at some point. Because obviously colour has meaning, So, and maybe it's the meaning behind the image as well. So get it stuck in there, even if you don't know what meaning it has at the time. So long as it's all documented and stuck down and in this journal, we're not going to lose it. It's all going to be kept together. And then you will then begin to see, as you flick through the pages, maybe some synchronicities and maybe some answers to questions that you've had. Don't underestimate the smallest of things. Don't underestimate that quote that you read. Don't underestimate a pencil that stands out and you think that colour is so nice, and then you could just do a swatch and then say why it stood out, or just say I've swatched this because this pencil or this colour really, I felt really drawn to it today. And then you could just leave that there as it is, and then maybe that might have some relevance. So yeah, don't underestimate those sort of things. That most, you might think it's quite trivial, but that everything has meaning, and I think if we start to pay attention to those smaller things, if we start to pay attention to the smaller things, we're exercising that intuitive muscle, and we'll be able to notice things more. And that is all, from that Wonder Journaling. And I think that if we start to you know, if you start using the hashtag Wonder Journal and encourage each other in this, and then maybe we'll be able to inspire one another through it. That's if you wanted to share your pages. I mean, I'm not going to share all of mine. I'm not going to record every single page that I do, because that would be just way too time consuming, but I obviously will do journal processes on here. And also I'm hoping along when I put this video out there, I'll perhaps put some ideas below. Maybe you can add your own. And yeah, and if you have any questions at all about this, then just please leave them below. I am anticipating some questions because I do feel that maybe I've not been specific enough, and maybe it's a bit too new, maybe it's not new at all, I don't know. So ask me anything, you know, if there's anything you need to know, just let me know. So yeah, so the Wonder Journal can be done in any journal that you have. I do recommend something that is perhaps gonna I mean, it doesn't have to be one journal, because when you filled one, just move on to another. I keep them together, like put volume 1, 2, 3, whatever. I've decided to use this one because I'm anticipating using this quite frequently, and it's got a good amount of space to it as well. So if I did want to stick down artwork, I could, but it's not too big as well. You know, I think any size bigger than this would be too much for me. It's not something I'm going to be carrying around with me either. It's going to be staying at home, and then when I'm out and about, anything that I do find or collect, say it's a feather or a piece of even like, I mean, anything. Let me just show you a scrap of fabric. So if one of these pieces speak to me, or I have some fabric at home and I cut a piece out because I love it and I'll stick it in here, you know, you could have a little box or a little bag within your bag specifically for these little things. And also don't forget your phone, your camera on your phone, to document these things. So for example, I can't show you on here just now, but I'll post it below. I was walking to the pub with my husband, and as I was walking along the pavement, there was this like little pothole in the shape of a heart, and I was like, no way, I need to document this. So I took a photo of it, little things like that. So and maybe it's a shape or something that comes along, a symbol that comes along just right at that right moment for you, you know, it will speak to you and guide you. So yeah, so this is what my Wonder Journal is about, documenting the little things as well as the bigger things, that card you pulled in the morning, everything. So I think I've covered pretty much all of it. So yeah, I've got this piece of art here from Joe, and I might put that in here somewhere, because this is something, I've got so much on my wall at the moment, so there perhaps isn't enough room for everything. And then I think, well, actually no, I'm going to put it in my journal, because that way it's not going to fade and it will always be safe in there. So I could do that. Right, so I'll leave it there. Yeah, if you have any questions at all, leave them below. Perhaps we can get a discussion going, maybe in the Facebook group. Don't forget the hashtag Wonder Journal, and you can tag my either of my Instagram accounts as well, and let's see if we can start a movement with this. I mean, it all starts small, and I'm not sure how far this will go, but if we all you know is that we have started this. It begins here, this Wonder Journaling. I've created the hashtag for it, so there wasn't any others, you know. It's a brand new hashtag. I don't think anyone else has used it at all. So yeah, if you have any other ideas you want to contribute to it, please leave them below. That'd be amazing. Thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, take care.